Hello Leo and welcome to my channel, Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self? Friendly reminder that these are general readings and they are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and to leave what does not. Last thing is that any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading or coaching session with me is in the description box below. All right, Leo, let's see what we've got here. We're going to look at the overall energy through Oracle cards first, and then we'll dive deeper into the reading with tarot as we progress. So let's start with looking at what you guys have been dealing with. Recent past for Leo. What do you need to release? You and your loved ones are safe with have faith in your dreams. So there's some anxiety, I feel like, in this past energy, or just in general when it comes to something that you've been dealing with. Maybe it's the outcome of a situation, how things are going to end up, or making some sort of a decision. And I feel like this, you and your loved ones are safe, is just this reminder and also this confirmation that like you are very protected, you are supported, that everything is going to be okay. This what do you need to release card, I feel like, has a lot to do with something that has been holding you back or that has been keeping you down in some sort of way, like something that's been lowering your vibration. These actually feel... It's interesting because usually like one card can like add meaning to another card. And sure, maybe this helps give me a full picture, but this feels like two separate things. It's like there's some anxiety about a situation, about something going on, about an outcome, or maybe just in general, like a lot of stress about something. But then also there is something that is really keeping you down or holding you back. So I don't necessarily know how these connect yet. I feel like we'll get more on that in tarot, but with the underlying being have faith in your dreams, I feel like this is knowing that the things that you desire, the life that you desire, the outcomes you desire are still very possible, even if it's not feeling like it or if there's stress around it. But current energy here for you, Leo. Does Leo need to know regarding their current energy? Take time to breathe out. There's that have faith in your dreams card again. A fiery climax approaches and bring love into the situation. So it feels like, okay, it feels like there's been stress about something, about some sort of situation, how something is going to turn out. And I feel like you've been waiting on some sort of like outcome or answer. And I feel like you're in the middle of, you're like in this waiting period, waiting to see how things turn out, or waiting for some sort of outcome, or waiting for an answer or like an opportunity. I don't necessarily know what this is in regard to, but I feel like with this take time to breathe out card, there's definitely this need to relax a little bit. Now, obviously, when you're super stressed and someone tells you, oh, just relax, like it doesn't really help. But I feel like Spirit is trying to give you some confirmation through this reading that things are going to, be okay, that they're going to turn out well for you. With bring love into the situation, I feel like looking at some sort of situation or looking at your life through the lens of love right now, not just love for others, but love for yourself too. Like you're deserving of good things. You are very guided and protected. You are very loved. And I think that sometimes when we're stressing about something or things are really up in the air, we can jump to a fear-based mentality. And I feel like Spirit is really asking you to try as hard as you can to keep yourself grounded in understanding that, again, supported, guided, loved as much as you can right now. Especially, again, if there is a lot that is out of your control. I don't know what this is in regard to. What does Leo need to know moving forward? I apologize. I'm a little stopped up today. I've been recovering from a cold recently, so bear with me. What does Leo need to know moving forward? Balance spirituality and practicality. Don't jump to conclusions right now. Don't lean too far one way or the other, because I feel like, yeah, there's conclusions are within reach. Bring love into the situation, because I feel like the outcome is going to be different than what it is that you expect, but like in a good way. Because I feel like right now your fear is very present. Your anxiety is very, very present about something. And I feel like if you aren't careful, you might jump to some sort of conclusion that might not be great for your mental, emotional well-being. So don't jump to conclusions right now, because I feel like things are working out better than you think, and they're going to end up better than you think. Especially with just kind of how this is all playing out. So you're kind of in this in-between, like worried about how things are going to unfold, which is completely natural and completely normal, okay? I'm not saying don't worry. I'm not saying you don't have reasons to worry. I'm not saying you should just relax and that's, it's all going to go away. Like the feelings of fear are going to go away. But I do feel like the universe is asking you to trust right now as much as you can, to trust the process, to trust that the outcome is going to be exactly what it is that is best for you, even if it's not what you expect or what you might think. So, and then again, have faith in your dreams is on the bottom here. So I feel like this is very much in alignment with like things are going to work out in alignment with your dreams. And sometimes we have to remind ourselves that if things don't work out like we think that we want, it ultimately means that things are working out better for us. So one of my favorite affirmations is, it's this or something better. Either things are going to work out like I want, or it's going to be even better than I think. And the more that we can lean on that, the more that we can trust that things are unfolding for our highest good, even if it's not exactly what we have pictured or exactly how we think things should be. But let's get an overall theme for you here. Overall theme of this reading for Leo. What is the focus of this reading here? Soul group. You are getting ready to unite with members of your soul family. So it's like finding spaces. Ooh, okay. I kind of understand what this could be about. Hang on. Let me get, what else does Leo need to know here? Oh my goodness. These cards are sticking together. This is a difficult deck to shuffle. Okay, it's this one. Oh, yeah. Interesting. Okay. So it says, Auric Field. It's time to call in energy protection to shield, clear, and strengthen your aura. And then you also have environment. Now is a good time to clear, clean, and declutter your environment. So this is about clearing out your energy field, but also like your physical environment of things, people, situations that aren't fully in alignment with your highest good, because you are on the path like to exactly where you belong here. You're getting ready to unite with members of your soul family. So it feels like definitely an energy of letting go of the old and making room for new, but like in a really powerful way. So I don't know what this is talking about, Leo. But I feel like this is exciting. Like this is part of your soul's journey. Like you're finding your people, you're finding your spaces where you belong. So let's look at this past energy. You and your loved ones are safe. What do you need to release? Past energy for Leo, please. it's like this is definitely a period of releasing what isn't serving you. And then, yeah, it's almost like you're in this in-between period of, I let go of things that aren't serving me, but now I'm having a hard time because I'm not, I don't, nothing better has come into my life. Like certain things haven't been attracted, and you're starting to wonder maybe like if it ever will happen. And I feel like it absolutely will, but let's see. Let's look at this past energy here for Leo. 5 of Wands. So, well, hang on. Now I'm like starting to jump to conclusions about these messages. I feel like that's a really big theme in this, like not jumping to conclusions. The 6 of Wands in reverse. Because, yeah, there's so much stress about something. 3 of Swords. Page of Pentacles. This is all in your past, but I feel like this energy is still very present in your energy field. King of Cups in reverse. Ooh, okay, Leo. So you've been in situations, the Sun in reverse and then the Knight of Pentacles here with the Temperance. Your past was about certain situations that it's like conflicted or contradicted like your worth and what it is that you were really looking for. Yet I feel like there was this part of you that was afraid to like let go or afraid to remove like certain things from your life because, and this is completely natural and normal, change is really scary, and a lot of times we're afraid that nothing better is ever going to come along, right? So I feel like there was a lot of anxiety and stress about some sort of situation because there was this part of you that was like, well, what if, I let go of this, or I walk away from this, or this doesn't work out, and then I end up alone, or then I don't have the money that I need, or like whatever the situation might be. And I feel like it feels like whatever situation you were in, it caused you a lot of stress too. So like it was twofold. It was like whatever situation you were in was causing you a lot of stress, a lot of pain. There was a lot about it that like wasn't very in alignment, but then the idea of not having it was also very stressful because then it was like, well, what if this is as good as it gets? What if nothing better ever comes along? Things of that nature. And I feel like, there was this part of you that knew that you weren't super happy with the situation. You weren't where you wanted to be. But yet, at the same time, I feel like there was a lot of fear around letting go of something or about making some sort of move and moving towards something different, which is, again, natural and normal. This could be about like a group of people, but like a group of people can be a lot of different things. It could be like coworkers or maybe family situations or I'm not really quite sure, but I do feel like there was this almost like obligation or like sense of obligation to something here too, where it almost felt for you maybe selfish to move away from it or walk away from it or to set boundaries or choose yourself in some way too. It's almost like you felt like trapped in this or tied to it in some way. Like you had no other choice. But I feel like, you have more options than you think. You have more options than you think. Because, and I said it at the very beginning, that there was something like holding you back or keeping you down in some way. But now you're in this waiting phase, this in-between phase. Because there's still a lot of anxiety about something specifically working out. Okay, let me just get clarity. Current energy for Leo. Because, there's still a lot of anxiety in this energy. There's the Page of Cups. Two of Cups in reverse. The High Priestess. there's something that you've been involved with that requires you to almost like disconnect with yourself in order to be, in order to make it work, meaning disconnecting from your truth or disconnecting from your worth or disconnecting from your authenticity. And what that ultimately boils down to is there's something in your energy field that is very unaligned. It's unaligned with who you are. It's unaligned with what it is you really want. Yet for some reason, there continues to be, because this is something that you've been dealing with for a while. You've been dealing with this for a while. And it's like, there's been a lot of conflict surrounding this. Because again, going back to what I said, this, whatever the situation is, it causes a lot of stress. It adds, to maybe your pain or the frustration that you're feeling. Yet at the same time, there's this energy of really clinging to it, holding on to it. Yet what you don't realize is holding on to it as much as you are is actually blocking you from true desires here. King of Pentacles in reverse, which often means you're worried about circumstances. So maybe worried about money, or maybe you live with somebody and you're like, well, if I break up with them, like I'm gonna have to find a place to live, like things like that, like worried about what is a word for that, like details, I guess, which makes a lot of sense. But I feel like Spirit is asking you to look at this from this. You have more options than you think. And options in terms of like things that are not just more aligned with you, but have more possibility and opportunity for you as well. But I feel like there's been this part of you that is looking at something as like either your end all be all or like the only choice for you, only option. And that's actually blocking you from other options that are more abundant and fulfilling. Now, at the same time, I feel like it's like you're aware of this, but yet there is a little bit of fear of what if nothing better comes along, or like whatever the case might be. But again, whatever this is requiring you to almost like abandon yourself, abandon your like, again, like your authenticity, your values. Not your values, maybe, I don't know. And it's like you feel this deep call from within that there's more for you, that you're meant for more, that you're capable of more. Maybe you're hearing it from friends, from family. Maybe you're hearing it solely from your higher self. But I feel like Spirit is really asking you to trust and believe in this idea that there is, like, what this feels like, if I were to boil it down, Leo, is it feels like you've been playing it small. It feels like you've been settling or trying to fit yourself into some sort of box or into some sort of like idea of like what you think your life should be or this situation should be. But yet deep down, you know that this isn't right for you, or this doesn't really align with you and where you can go. And so it's interesting because it's like that awareness is there. Like you have the Hierophant. The awareness is there. You have the Page of Cups. You have the High Priestess. Like you're in tune with that. But there's so much fear associated with making some sort of change or with like moving away from something that it's like keeping you really stuck. And I said you were in like an in-between phase. And I wonder if that in-between phase is like you have the awareness, but you haven't yet made like some sort of a decision. Because Spirit is calling you to more. You're being called to more. You're being pulled toward more. You're being asked to believe that there is more for you. And understanding that every single one of your needs would be taken care of on the path to more in some way. Okay, so what does Leo need to know moving forward? But if we don't believe we have other options, if we don't believe there are other opportunities, we might actually miss them. But if we are opportunity and solution driven, we might create opportunities in spaces that we didn't realize we even could. What does Leo need to know moving forward? It's like Spirit is calling you, like literally on the phone, and is like trying to tell you that you're meant for more, that you're made for more, that there's more possible for you, that you have like a calling, a deeper purpose. And it feels like you're like, nah, like muting it, or like, I'm scared to take that call. I'm scared to take that call. I'm scared to take that call. And the universe is like, but you don't understand. Like, this is so good. Which I get. We've all been there. We've all done it. And we all have the reasons for why we do it. And again, there's so much anxiety and association with this. So it makes a lot of sense. And again, this is just energy. So like, I'm sure you have your like logical reasons, right? But I feel like that's also why you have balanced spirituality and practicality. If you look at this from a practical standpoint, you might be thinking too logic based. And a lot of times our fear can disguise itself as logic. It's not saying throw all logic out the window, right? But it's also looking at things with that balance, like also understanding, okay, but I am very supported by the divine. I do have, I do have that support of the universe, and knowing that every step that I take towards the life that I desire, like that I'll have that support. And I feel like there's this part of you that's like almost thinking too one way, and there's a need to find that balance. You're afraid of this Ten of Swords. Okay, hang on. Ten of Swords lovers, what does Leo need to know about this immediate future energy? Because this Ten of Swords doesn't feel like future energy. It feels like what you've been through. It's like you've been through so much that there's almost this part of you that has been taught through past experiences that you need to settle for less. That what you deserve will always be out of reach. And that's where we have to understand that although there is, so much that's out of our control, there is also a lot that is within our control, and that boils down to ourselves, the way that we show up, the way that we respond to our reality, the decisions that we make, right? The energy that we put in. But a lot of times that part of us is going to be very impacted by our trauma, by our heartbreak, by experiences of loss. And sometimes we have to understand or learn to understand that we are not what has happened to us. We are not our past. We are not the things that we have been through. We are who we choose to become. We are how powerful we believe we are. We are how confident we believe we are. Like, you dictate who you are and where you can go. But sometimes we might get a little bit stuck in settling for less because life may have made you believe that you have to. That the bare minimum is as good as it gets. That stress and burnout is as good as it gets. That suffering is as good as it gets. And I feel like this reading is not trying to deny your experience and tell you like, oh, you shouldn't feel that way. Because of course you feel the way that you do. You've been through certain experiences that have made you feel that way. So it's not invalidating your feelings. It's offering a different perspective. It's looking at this from this idea and understanding that yes, you've been through a lot, and yes, life has taught you or made you believe certain things. But what you have been through and what you have learned from your experiences does not have to be your truth. You are not here to settle. You are not here to suffer. You are not here to experience heartbreak after heartbreak, suffering experience after suffering experience. But, and here's the flip side to this. If you believe that that is what's true for you, that will be your reality. Our reality is a product of what it is that we believe. So the universe is asking you to believe and dream more for yourself, because this Five of Swords to me really gives this energy of survival mode. And this Ace of Swords is almost like like this clarity within it where you're like, oh my God, I don't have to suffer. I don't have to, because you're not just here to survive, Leo. You're here to thrive. You're here to experience all of the wonderful things that this life has to offer. But you are also the only one who can break yourself out of survival mode. And you have that capability to do that. But one of the number one aspects of that is letting go of things that keep you in survival mode. And I talked about this, right? There's this attachment to something that adds negativity to your life. It holds you back. It keeps you down. But yet there's almost this obligation or this sense of necessity toward this. And that's natural and that's normal. I see it all the time with jobs, right? We think that we need the really stressful job that we have because we think that if we don't have that job, we're not going to have the money that we need. But what if there was other options? What if there was another way? What if it doesn't have to be this way? And I feel like that's the question that Spirit is asking you to ask yourself. What if there's another way? What if there's another path? What if there's another solution? What if there's another option? Because there is. And you are not here to suffer. You're not meant to suffer. But if you are, sometimes we get so comfortable in our suffering. I know for me, for a long time, going through as much as I did from a very young age, like suffering and survival mode became my comfort zone. I was so good at surviving. I knew how to get through the hard stuff. But just because you have the capacity to get through the hard stuff doesn't mean you have the obligation to experience only hard stuff. So this kind of feels like breaking yourself out of survival mode by recognizing that you are not here just to survive. You are also here to thrive. You are also here to experience all of the good. And I think that ability to do so is going to 100% depend on you and whether or not you are willing to break yourself out of that experience. And I said this, it's this or something better, right? Sometimes we're so attached to certain outcomes or we're so attached to certain ways of living or certain things being a certain way. But what if there was something better for you out there that you aren't even aware of, right? So that's why I always say it's this or something better. Things actually usually work out like you expect or they work out better. The universe only has 3 answers for you. It is never no. It's either not right now. It's, what is it? It's not right now. It's yes, there we go. Or it's there's something better. Yes, not right now, or something better. So that's the biggest thing that we have to remember. If things don't work out like we expect, or they're not working out like we expect, it's not to hold us back or to keep us down. It's to break us free from things that are holding us back and keeping us down so that we can receive more. But of course, it's really hard when you're in the experience to think like that, to believe like that, because it can be really scary. The unknown is really scary. So especially if you're in that unknown right now, like in that in-between period. I'm going to hop on over to the extended. We're going to dive deeper into this reading. We're going to look at what you need to do right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self. So focusing mainly on tangible advice. And then we've got an advice card to pull from you from your spiritual team at the very end. Thank you so much, Leo, as always, for your support of my channel. I do obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing and all of the wonderful things that you deserve and desire on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Leo.